Who's that?
What's going on?
Radio, where's our backup?
All right, Huber.
Yo.
You had the privilege
Yeah.
of spending a lot of time in New York, and then getting to finish up at home for Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta.
This remake of Snake Eater, no Kojima involvement, fancy high-end graphics,
Yeah.
kind of different art direction, but now you've played the whole thing.
Finished the game.
So what are you thinking? How is this coming across?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. To preface it too, we did get to have a very brief not even a round table, just a very brief group style interview. Everybody got like 2 questions. We got like 4 questions, our group total for 3 of us.
Yeah.
But one of the main things they said was why they're doing this is for new fans. Explicitly.
Okay.
Like, that is their target. And that's why they released Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 collection already. So if you want the original Metal Gear Solid 3, you can easily play that. That's on the collection. That's a remaster of that game. It's identical. It's the old game, just with a nice little remaster. That's all. So that is there. This is for the new players because they said the situation is... This is their words, by the way. They said the situation is dire for this franchise.
Okay.
That they were looking at ways to continue it or bring it back because a lot of time has gone by now since Phantom Pain without a brand new entry. You know, we've had, again, just the remaster, really. So, and of course, like Metal Gear Survival. I mean, that kind of was tacked on. You know, that came fairly after Phantom Pain. And so they said, yeah, it was kind of a dire situation, and we really needed to get this franchise back in the spotlight. And what better way to do that than start with 3, this beloved classic game. It's the beginning of the timeline, pretty much. You know, it goes 3, 1, 3, Phantom Pain, 1, 2, 4. So yeah, it makes sense to start with 3, and that's what they did. So MGS3 Snake Eater, of course, is set in Cold War era, 1960s. You are in Russia trying to find Sokolov. You know, we can go into the lore forever. You're trying to find this guy who he's like a weapons tech expert, and you need to get him out of there so that, you know, the other people can't use his brain and his knowledge.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of things go down in Metal Gear. The story is insane and still just as good and relevant now as it was. So I would say, you know, this is a game where its reputation precedes it. This is one of the most legendary games of all time. This was a game on PlayStation 2, and I think that context is key. We have come so far in our storytelling abilities in this industry since PlayStation 2. Metal Gear was one of the crown jewels of storytelling back then. Even though some people didn't like the cutscene heavy nature of it, it still told a cinematic, deep, emotional, thought-provoking story from a video game. We have a lot of that now. You know, we have a lot of thought-provoking, holy shit, whoa, mind-bending games, and so I found myself it not maybe hitting as hard. Obviously, this is a game I've finished in my life like 10 times. I'm intimately familiar with Metal Gear Solid 3. But yeah, a couple of the narrative beats that like used to really make me swell up or feel heavy emotions didn't necessarily hit this time. Maybe that too had something to do with the art style, Blood.
Yeah.
The original art style has a melancholic look to it that I would describe it as melancholic. There is just an air of, it's a sadder game, you know, and that comes across in the way it looks and sounds. This, obviously, Unreal Engine 5, everything is crystal clear, everything is pristine, beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I would say it is different. It is a different feeling when you're looking at different visuals. It is making you feel a completely different energy and vibe compared to the original. That is not going to be a problem for anyone who's never played 3. Or maybe you played 3 actually 20 years ago, and it still won't be a problem.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that it wouldn't be a problem.
Not a problem, but you wouldn't notice. If this is your first time
you
playing...
wouldn't notice, but it might still not have the same impact. Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff is like creating an impression on you, and like
Absolutely.
And with less detail, like there's a more of an impressionistic style that like communicates through the things that are not there, right?
Yeah. Soviet Union, by the way. I said Russia. Soviet Union specifically is very specific. One of the things, Blood, with the visuals, because all the dialogue is there.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. All
just
the
like,
old recordings.
Yeah, just like Last of Us Part 1. Very similar comparison here. Last of Us Part 1, same cutscenes, same dialogue, new engine, new visuals, right? Same thing. What's funny though, Blood, again, this is a PS2 game. What's funny is that you're watching it and it looks so beautiful and gorgeous, but then the characters are doing their PS2 animations during these cutscenes.
Right.
So that has kind of a jarring where people are like, like there's a lot of smooth animations, but like there's some like really wacky, like, oh, this is like PS2 emoting. Like, so there is kind of a weird disconnect there that I was noticing. Or I was like, that's just strange. Just a little strange looking.
Right.
But overall, criticisms aside again, because this is a legendary masterpiece, 1,000 out of 10, one of the best games of all time, easily played it 10 times in my life. So I have a lot of baggage. With that being said, it plays perfectly. There is a
That's good.
new play style, over-the-shoulder camera. You can do the classic style as well. But yeah, the new style, over-the-shoulder aiming, just free-flowing camera like they added in Subsistence, of course, the original re-release of 3.
Yeah, that's only one I played. 'Cause
Yeah.
I caught up to it a couple years later. Yeah.
Yeah, so just the visuals and the gameplay and everything, even though it's different, it still looks and plays so nicely. Some other quality of life things in there, I think, were like the like quick switch kind of camo and stuff. I don't remember that from the original. You don't have to go into the menu. You can just like hold up press a button and a little thing will pop up on the right for you to quickly change in real time or whatever.
Okay.
So there was some stuff like that.
That's also an interesting thing to consider because I think like the abstraction of a menu for changing camo
Yeah.
again, it's like your brain can sort of fill in the gaps. Like, well, I'm in the menu right now, and so like I can imagine that like he's applying this paint, while I'm in the menu, and it's like you just don't see it.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you're in real time swapping, and it's just like my skin just changed. Why?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting because it's like it speeds things up.
Yeah. I would always
And it's
still go
more
on the menu.
convenient, but it's like it is
Yeah.
a weird thing to like.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just changing colors for no reason. Yeah.
Yeah. I respect that they restrained themselves. Blood. I mean, again, PS2 game. Some of these environments, small, and then you move, and then you go to the next
Right.
one, and it
Yeah,
loads the next one. You're in these little self-contained pocket arenas.
Mm-hmm.
That's the structure of the game. You'll go in one. You'll get to the end. You'll go through a door. Maybe
And
it'll.
is it
it'll
all
load.
like crystal clear, or is there like some focal blur to like make the environments look bigger or anything like that?
It blends in really nicely. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you'll be running towards something, and all of a sudden it'll do like the cool little like widescreen bars, and then it'll just kind of he'll go in and it'll load the next one or whatever. But yeah, I love the restraint. They didn't mess with any of that stuff. They didn't mess with any of the dialogue or just the environments themselves. I mean, when you're CQCing, it feels the same. It's actually so shocking how faithful and similar it feels to the original while also having quality of life, feeling modern. Those controls are so nice. It's just really easy to aim. A little bit, I was having a teeny tiny trickiness of like kind of sticking to walls and peeking out. That stuff was like not 10 out of 10, but it was like still really, really good. And yeah, I mean, this is a game. This is a franchise that everyone should play. Obviously, Metal Gear is legendary. But yeah, I wonder what the future will hold. Will they start remaking all of these now? It is weird that Kojima's not around anymore. His name is plastered all over the game, so they're not shying away from that. His name is everywhere, credits and everything so many times.
That's good, yeah.
Opening cinematic, you know.
Yeah, it is really weird for them to be thinking about like how do we move this franchise forward?
Exactly. How?
Because yeah, it is something that was, you know, his brainchild, his team.
I truly think it's the most, like, you talk to devs and they do lament the fact that directors get all the credit when things go right, you know? Like making a video game is the biggest team effort. Yeah. It is such a team. And when a game is a masterpiece, a lot of the time the director is getting 95% of the credit. I will say no game is more one person's game than Metal Gear Solid, like Metal Gear franchise. Like that is so Kojima. It is like his, like you said, brainchild. Like he's writing, producing, directing, like all of that. So it is hard to imagine this franchise without him. So, but I think this was the smartest thing they could possibly do, is remaking this game with the original dialogue and everything. It just felt great. It felt like, wow, modern quality of life stuff. A lot of checkpoints, autosaves, and just all that stuff was really easy and really intuitive and really good. It was like the easiest I'd ever gotten through Metal Gear Solid 3. I haven't played since like Phantom Pain. I did the franchise playthrough before that. Right. Phantom Pain I didn't truly care for because that's a whole nother story for another time because of Konami and him feuding. Obviously, unfinished game. So I've really fallen off the franchise. I mean, they were right to say it is in dire straits, Blood. Like, this was a franchise that was next to Resident Evil for me. Metal Gear Solid 3 and 4, both at one point in my life, were my favorite games of all time, above Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 has finally cemented it easily. But for a lot of years since Phantom Pain, I haven't even really thought about this franchise. I haven't even thought about like going back and replaying them all, especially because Kojima parted ways and he's done with the franchise. So it is in a really tricky spot. But I do feel like this will appease people who have never played this game before. And I think it'll still be fine with the fanatics out there. You know, if you give it a shot, I don't, you know, like you've heard my thoughts on The Last of Us Part 1 versus the original. I like the original a little more. That's just our own biases of in our past, you know, our history of like that. Well, that's the one we started on. We have that emotional first love of it, you know, where just the old one feels right, whereas this one feels different, you know. Right. So I don't think it's gonna bother as many people as maybe I thought it would 6 months ago. Okay. Because it is so faithful and it plays so well. So, yeah. Nice. $70 coming out end of August. MGS3 franchise is coming back. There's also Snake versus Ape Escape, Snake versus Monkeys. Oh, right. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm not gonna talk about it. There's some secret stuff in there. Okay. That is relevant now. I'm gonna leave it at that. There's a really cool thing in there. It's a fun mode. You're just in the environments from the main game, and you have a little dart gun, and you have to find the apes, and you shoot them, and you go up to them, and you collect them, and you have a time limit. You have to collect a certain amount. There's something else in those levels that you collect that I'm not gonna spoil. Try not to get it spoiled, because when it happened, I was like, whoa, so cool. And then, of course, unfortunately, the Fox Hunt multiplayer mode has been delayed.
Yeah, they said that it's coming out later now.
in like
yeah.
autumn or whatever. And apparently we just found out there's no crossplay with that. That's a red flag. Hopefully they can get that going. But as a Metal Gear Online obsessor, when MGS4 Online came out, my God, what is with underrated multiplayer modes? Like Last of Us Grounded, or
Right.
Factions, Last of Us Factions, and MGS Online. I'm hoping Fox Hunt can have some of those vibes. It's way different. It's like a hide and seek type mode
Yeah.
is the only thing they've teased. We haven't
that
really
wasn't
seen.
in the original anyway.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
are at least getting a multiplayer mode down the line. Hopefully it's cool. But thankfully it's building off of the mechanics from this remake, and the mechanics in here are just rock solid. Everything's so good. And lastly, nothing's been censored or taken out. Like this is still a controversial, intense story. There actually are some things that like made me go like, whoa, that was 2004 or whenever. Like now we're in 2025. Like this, times change a lot of how we view the world and other people and society, like a lot has changed, and they have not touched this story. So that's really good. Creator's intent, it's all there. Some things though haven't aged maybe as well as other parts of the story. But that's Kojima, like a hard hitting story. Like sometimes things are uncomfortable,
Yeah.
to convey a story. He gets in there. Kojima doesn't hold back. So yeah.
Nice. Thank you for checking this out. Also, check out some of our Gamescom coverage and some other things that we've got up. And we will be back from Gamescom in just a few days to talk about everything we played at the show floor. So stay tuned for that. We are Easy Allies. We are supported by folks just like you. Please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/easyallies. Or here on YouTube, we have these channel memberships open now. If that's more convenient for you, you can do that. You can put in $5 a month there. But Patreon's still, well, temporarily, the YouTube thing is going to give us a little bit more money, but Patreon's still a better long way. Either way, thank you very much. We will see you soon.